there's plenty of noise coming through the door, and they're like, yeah, they're having a good time. Like, what's the feeling?
Oh, just disbelief a little bit, like surreal. Amazing game. I mean, credit to Perth. They had not just a great season, but that was one of the toughest, probably seesaw 50-50 games I've ever seen in the WNBL, and surely has to go down as one of the greatest finals games ever played. I think either team could have won that down the stretch. Big runs at the start from them. We make a run in the second, and the second half is just, they come claw all the way back, and then it's lead change after lead change after lead change. I think there was 41 in the game. An amazing game. Really proud of my team, can't wait to get back to Townsville and celebrate with my family and all our fans.
So second quarter, big moments, like you made big shots when they were missing, and then defended big moment in the last 4 seconds, and in overtime you made big plays again to win it. Is that how you reflect back on it, that when the game was up for grabs, you handled the pressure moments well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and we've been lucky, like we had a hot start to the year. We won a lot of games by 30 points, all this stuff, and then after Christmas everything just ground to a halt. We had to win close game after close game after close game, and I think for us, I spoke about it then, like the turning point for us, I think, was around that Christmas where we lost to these guys by 20 at home, and Ali Wilson absolutely destroyed us, and Hahn absolutely killed us, and then we fast forward like a week after Christmas, we lose Lauren Cox, and I felt like that was probably, our season was on a knife's edge, and we made some adjustments with what we were doing and how we were defending and all of those things, and we sort of managed to overcome that. And I think all those experiences, close games, we had a bunch of really tight wins. I think that series against Southside as well got us ready for this in a big, big way. Had a big win at home. We played really bad and got absolutely belted on the road in game 2, and then we had to win a really tough game. And Southside was so physical and tough and just locked into us that I think by the time we got here, we just were ready for everything that they were going to throw at us. And that game there, I think the first quarter, obviously big foul trouble. We had to go to our matchup zone in the second quarter to try and negate some of the fouls and keep players on the floor and whatnot. And then we talked about this multiple times before the game and during the game about just moving the ball. We moved the ball really well in the second quarter, got some good threes. Woody hit some. I think Abby hit a really big one against their deep drop coverage. And, we just were able to get that lead going into halftime and have momentum on our side. And as I said, then the second half was just a phenomenal display of basketball. And I think that could have went either way. And we're obviously thrilled that it went our way.
She was a freak all season, and she was a freak today. And Nelly as well. Like, can you talk about what she has done for this club this season?
Oh, mate, she does everything. I think, honestly, I'm trying to get emotional here, but she has played every single role for me that you could imagine, from not playing a second to playing 40 minutes a game, to me telling her she needs to pass the ball more, to she needs to shoot more threes, to we need you to do this in this game. I felt like in the semi-finals I asked her to inspire everyone defensively. She's not known as a defensive player, but she just makes big plays. And then today, she had didn't have a great finals last year, and to come out today and in game 1 as well and carry us, make big shots, make big plays at the other end of the floor. We asked her to guard Annalie Maley and keep her off the glass and compete with her on the rebounds, all this stuff. I think, I couldn't be prouder, and, we're so lucky to have Courtney at our club.
Like you coach here after you start talking about your stuff.
It's crazy, yeah, and I think not even the on-court stuff, just I feel like mentally how much Shannon has helped me. And this year, last year was hard, losing to Bendigo was hard, and I think this year I have never wanted something more than winning a championship here, and I think he knew that, and so much of the last 2 weeks weren't even about basketball. It was just him and Sam, our GM, just trying to help me deal with the mental side of finals, and I feel like that was the difference between last year and this year. I just feel like I felt so much support and love, and I was told 1,000 times that if we don't win, that's okay. And I think that's honestly I kind of surprised myself playing like that. So I feel like a lot of it just comes from having just such support, even just my sports psych, just everyone pouring into me and pouring into our whole team. I feel like we were able to figure it out.
The stress of finals.
Yeah.
Always because they've lost far too many, and you lost last year. Like, so when it was like 4 seconds to go and they can win it, how do you keep the group not thinking, oh my God, we're going to lose, and we can send it to overtime? There's two different emotions.
100%.
Two dramatically different results.
Yeah, and I reckon there's maybe 2 or 3 moments where like it was like, oh, this is over, but we somehow found a way to make shots. And I feel like our group, we all like in our huddles, Shannon's probably like figuring out the X's and O's, and we're all just looking at each other and saying, we're good, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's just not, it's never been a team that snapped at each other or pointed fingers. Like, we have always just had this like massive respect for each other as basketball players. And I feel like, honestly, I know I said it in like the semi-final, but it's like the power of friendship. And I feel like that's what keeps us really connected. And like, and if we had lost that game, like, we would have been in the locker room and been like, guys, we're okay. You know what I mean? Like, we'll go out and play in game 3. But I feel like when you have that support of all your friends and your coaches, like, you feel like you can do really hard things.
How much do you split yourself open?
Oh, yeah, I can show you. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Apparently, no, I wasn't split. I was grazed. Yeah, so no stitches. Yeah, but no, I was skinned like a cat. That's what I've been saying. Yeah, it didn't feel good. Bled a lot. But no, I'm back. It was back, yeah. No, it's pretty crazy. But I feel like that's finals, right? And that's fun. And I'm sure, literally, I looked up and there were some photographers, so I'm sure there'll be some nice photos on the internet now of that. So that's good. But no, really cool moment. I mean, I looked out, so yeah, crazy.
We might want to Zoom now, so Seeb, we'll go to you.
Hey, I'll start with Courtney, if that's all good. Obviously, I know Shannon talked about you, but I also was just wondering about whether you could talk about Shannon, because obviously I think this is your guys' second championship in 4 years, and this is his also fifth final series in 6 years. What does he kind of do? What does he kind of do to the club just to make you guys play the way you play and bring you so much success?
Yeah, I think like a big part of it is I think Shannon's like an elite recruiter, and I feel like we had kind of success early on. Like, I think we won that championship in his 3rd or 4th year, and I think after that it kind of got out that Shannon was like obviously a great coach, and I think from that point people wanted to come play here. And I think that's not even Shannon's like X's and O's. I feel like it's just like the way Shannon invests in his players. And I feel like even me, like when I came to the program, I was 23, fresh out of college, like didn't have a chance of hell of doing much special, and I've won 2 championships here, finals MVP. Like, that's just like more than I ever thought I would be capable of. Like, more, like my whole dream at the Fire was to start. Like, I was just like, if I go my whole career, if I start, I'll be so happy. But like, Shannon has just like opened up my entire world and my career, and I just like am so grateful to him, because like, not even, and I feel like he feels that too, is that like he has made all of my dreams come true, and he's made our whole team's dream come true this year. So I feel like it's just such a collective experience, and obviously just really happy to like continue to play here as long as I can. Yeah.
Would you say that he is kind of one of the best coaches the league has ever seen?
Yeah, I think everyone knows that by this point, but not even like who Shannon is as a coach. I think, like I said, for this finals, like Shannon is like one of my closest friends. And just someone I can talk to about anything, someone who's there for me when I play well, when I play bad, treats me the same either way, and just someone who has just like had such a huge impact on my life, like way more than basketball, just like more as who you are as a person. So I feel like that's why people want to continue to come play here, and I think that's why we continue to have success with him.
Shannon, something you talked about kind of in your thank you speech after you guys kind of won the game today was about kind of how the league has invested so much into kind of transforming itself this season. Can you just kind of expand a little bit on what you meant about that and where the future of it kind of lies?
Yep. Sorry, I'll the camera, but look, I mean, I don't think it's just the league, to be honest with you. I think it's the clubs as well. Like, the league have come in and asked the clubs to invest significantly with the collective bargaining agreement and extra costs and staffing and all of these things. And, you know, I think it's great we've got new ownership, and they're marketing the shit out of the league, the heck out of the league, sorry guys, you know, and doing all these things. But I think it's actually the clubs as well. They're the ones making the biggest financial investment right now, as far as I'm aware. You know, and the players too. You know, like, I think the players are critical in this, and the league will market them, but we need to keep getting top-tier Australian talent in this league. We need to find a way to still attract high-level imports like Han Shu that keep eyeballs on what's happening. And, need people to continue to support it as well. I think this league can go to you've seen what's happened with the NBL, but yep, this league can go to a different level. I think when all of those things all happen, and everyone's investing, the coaches, the players, the broadcasting, the sponsorship, the ownership, the club owners, we don't have one, but the other club owners, and all of those things. And I think once the collective are all on the same page and everyone's pushing in the same direction, this league's going to boom and go to a level that no one's ever seen before.
More broadly, I think something you kind of touched on at the very start of the season is how this Townsville supply side is actually the youngest side in the WNBL as well. How do you kind of reflect just on your season, coaching this young side? Obviously, you talked about it earlier about Lauren Cox also going down. How do you just kind of sum up the season almost?
Oh, it's been a whirlwind, and I think I think we going into the start of the year, we had the youngest team, but we also had all this expectation that we were going to win the championship, and that was kind of the whole media narrative. And I think everyone forgot about Bendigo, and they forgot about Han Shu. And I mean, Southside Flyers have an extremely talented team, and I think we're the only team in the league that, or one of the few, well, sorry, not the only team, but one of the few that don't have an Olympian or an Opal that's played at a World Cup or done any of those things. We've kind of got a lot of unheralded. I guess, like we have superstars, like Courtney's a superstar, but I think, she's unheralded. She's not put on the same platform as a Ball Ace or a Talbot or a whoever it may be, an Ali Wilson or etc. So, we've kind of done it through committee a lot this year. And, Abby Ellis is a great example. She's a phenomenal young talent, but she's still learning a lot. She has had phenomenal games this year. She's had quiet games this year, and we've got great depth where we've had Lucy Olsen or someone like that who's been able to step in and fill that gap when other people aren't playing well. But, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It's been we've played good basketball and we've played inconsistent basketball at times, and I think our whole goal was always to try and play our best basketball at the end of the year, and I truly believe that we did that.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That's all from me. Anyone else on the Zoom?
Well, we might throw to you if you've got any questions.
Yep. Shannon, first of all, congratulations. It was probably one of the best games of WNBL basketball we've seen, certainly all this season, probably for a lot longer than that. You're sitting on the sideline, you're watching the game develop. How are you feeling, particularly watching that scoreline seesaw the way it did? Because, it could have really gone either way right down to the dying seconds. Yeah,
look, I think, I felt probably like everyone else did. There's anxiety, there's anxiety, there's excitement, there's big plays, there's big calls from the refs, there's all these things that are happening. And I think, in amongst all of that, you've got to try and remember, that the way that I am, if I'm up and hyped or if I'm over, going off about something or I'm stressed about something we've just done, the players are going to feed off that in that moment. So I think it's important to stay calm, even though maybe inside I'm not feeling calm or I'm feeling frustrated by something that someone's done or a shot we've taken or a turnover we've had or whatever it was. But I think the players just need to see that I'm calm, and then hopefully that translates to them. And this was a game that could have, as I said, gone either way. Big shots by both teams, big plays by both teams, and fortunately for us, we made the right plays at the right time to, one, go to overtime, and then two, be able to capitalise down the stretch and make key free throws and big shots to be able to win the game. So, really happy to have gotten the result, and definitely glad we're not going to a game 3 against Perth, that's for sure.
And, looking at the overall season as it developed for you, ending as it has, were there any points through the season where you felt that you were really under a lot more pressure than you expected to be?
Look, I mean, probably right from the start when people were saying we were going to win the championship because we won a couple of preseason games, that was a lot of pressure, I think, to go into a season with. And then, I'd say probably when Lauren Cox went down, that was also a moment. She's obviously been pretty pivotal to us, not just this year but last year. And, probably looking at who we may play in the finals with Southside, Bendigo and Perth, obviously with Han Shu, not having Lauren Cox was going to be a fairly significant piece to be missing. But as I said, I think we regrouped really well sort of after that probably New Year's Eve period. We had a couple of weird, like, we lost to Geelong by 30 on our home floor, and I think that was a great wake-up call. And then probably from that point on, we didn't really look back other than that Southside Game 2 hiccup. But, you know, as I said, really proud of my team, and great players stepped up for us at the right time.
And finally, Courtney, to you. You fouled out. You're sitting down. You're watching this game develop. You know, that's got to be the worst place for a captain to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think on the other foot, I feel like the sequence of events that occurred after that were incredible. I feel like Lucy came in, Mila obviously hit that massive shot, and then we went to overtime without two of our starters. And the way that we just like kept going, Alicia made some huge plays. Mila obviously hit 2 game winners pretty much, and I feel like that for me kind of represents our entire season. I feel like just when we have needed people to step up, they have, and I think, like Shannon said, that's what kind of makes us special, is like we don't have this one person that everything goes through. We don't have this an Olympian superstar. Like, it's all of us, and it has been all of us the whole year, and every game other people have stepped up, and I think this series was no different. I think that's what made this team super special.
Great. That's it for me.
We do have one more journo, Lucas. We've got time for 2 questions, if that's okay.
Sure, cheers. Woody, you talked about something that represented the whole season, but Coach, Woody has 2 20 burgers in the postseason, in the grand final series, stack of numbers across the board, gets fouled out in that game, has the glue on the hair. Like, just how did this final series kind of represent her whole season?
Oh, mate. As I said, she's just tough. Yep, she's just tough. You know, like anything I've ever asked her to do on the basketball court, she's tried her best to do. You know, whether that's score, defend, rebound. You know, we lost Lauren Cox. I went to her and said, I need you to get 2 more. You need to average 7 rebounds a game. She goes and does it. You know, last year I say to her, hey, mate, we're not going to win unless you start passing the ball to people when they're open. She goes and leads the league in assists. You know, talked to her recently about, hey, you need to start shooting the 3 when you're open because everyone's guarding you for a drive. She comes today and nails them. You know, I just can't say enough good things about her. She has led our team from the front since day one, you know, with no experience in this role. You know, and as we have the youngest team, and I think you could see our practices. I can honestly sit back at practice half the time now, and she coaches the team as well. So, like, you know, she literally does everything for us, and I'm just so grateful to have a player and person like Courtney on our team.
And then Courtney, what kind of plays stick out to you in this grand final series, or passages, or just individual players on your team that kind of maybe flew under the radar?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's like Mila hitting that massive shot to send us into overtime, but it's Chantel Horvat who got the offensive rebound. And I feel like it's just plays like that where it's like Mila hits the shot, but it's like it's all of us that are like in position to kind of make that happen. And then I feel like there's just moments I feel like we even looked at each other, and obviously Perth was loud. They sold out their arena, so it's like it's stressful, and they went on a lot of runs, but it's even moments when we get in our huddles and we're all looking at each other and just telling us we're okay. And I feel like that is how we've continued to win close games, is I feel like just the connection between all of us as players has just provided enough encouragement, enough support that we're able to kind of like keep fighting. Because there was a lot of times in that game where I feel like we could have just like rolled over and Perth could have gone up 15, but I was like, we continued to make tough shots when we really needed a bucket, and it was all different people. Alicia had so many tough finishes on Han, who's probably one of the best defenders in the world, and I feel like that's just been our season. I feel like Shannon's just asked us to be brave and fearless, and I think we've kind of given each other enough like encouragement to make that happen.
Thanks, gang. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go, go, go.